Hello, Steve White, Tripboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I went through this article about The Last Starship, the new comic book series from IDW using the Star Trek IP, because it's not a Star Trek series. And I didn't get all the way through it because it was too much, but I did go through the rest of it today, and it's worse than I thought. The second sort of big quote in the article that I didn't read through starts like this. Forget everything you know about Star Trek. The Last Starship is a new crew, new era, and a completely different tone. Our aim is to be literary, intense, innovative, and most of all, accessible. So how are you going to be accessible if you're going to be literary? Because most people are illiterate or don't read. We're bringing you into the Federation's darkest hour through the brilliant noir-soaked lens of artist Adrian Bonilla, with zero homework required. So yeah, it's not going to pay any attention to canon or anything that actually matters for Star Trek. So anyone can view it, anyone can read it, anyone can, follow it. And that's just a really low bar. Yeah, it's just, I don't get how these people think this is going to work with long-time fans. I mean, it's saying long-time Trek fans will have a deep and fascinating reading experience. To be sure, this is a pivotal moment in Trek history that's never been even glimpsed before. But above all, The Last Starship is a dark and complex sci-fi you can hand to anyone. We've spent the last 8 years celebrating all that Star Trek has ever been. Now it's time to rebuild it from scratch and rediscover it all it can be. These people don't know what Star Trek is. They do not get it. Oh God, there's more. I thought there was only 2 quotes. The only familiar face is the one you'd never expect to see in this era. Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner's iconic performance transcends borders. Kirk is one of the great characters of the modern fiction canon, with a timeless actor to match. He was also the first Star Trek character to ever write a leader with the warrior poet with balanced energy and contradiction. Now, we're honoured to be taking this character into truly uncharted, groundbreaking territory in The Last Starship, as the Federation's greatest pioneer must face down the inferno that threatens to consume his entire legacy. So it's just not Star Trek. It's not science fiction. It's just action. It's just war. It's just aggression. It's just Americans. Gene was a visionary because he actually liked science fiction and envisioned a universe, a world in the future where we don't have to deal with violence and war and constant conflict and so forth. But that's all these people understand. They can't perceive of a story that doesn't revolve around conflict. Anything other than a fight or a battle of some type is just boring to them. It's just a cultural thing for America, and it's just really bad. I didn't realize how, the more and more I read that, the worse and worse it looks, and they just keep going further and further. Literally, they've jumped 900 years into the future, along with the Star Trek, New Trek TV series, Starfleet Academy and Discovery, because that's the little pocket universe that Kurtzman has created for himself, and he wants to stay there and have his own Star Trek there, so he can make money off it because he created all that, and he gets to keep all the rights to that. Anything new he creates under the banner, somehow he gets to keep, and is his intellectual property. So that's his bias. That's why he's doing it, not because that's the best era or the best depiction of that era, even because they jumped 900 years and nothing really changed except the ships have separate nacelles and whatever it's called when the consoles basically build themselves and disappear and then come back when you command them, whatever that was, which is just a waste of FX, really. But I started reading it, and as soon as I realised Kirk was taking on the burn, and basically it was going to be about rebuilding the Federation in the future, which is the Andromeda story, not Star Trek. Instead of we are in that great future, we are living that, experiencing that in their Star Trek. No, we're still here, aspiring to go there and fighting to do better, but not actually being better. And that's supposed to make people feel like this is accessible. And like I said, you don't have to do any homework, you don't have to know Star Trek or think or have any knowledge or understanding of anything relating to science fiction or Star Trek. You should just be able to watch it like any generic science fiction show that has no attachments and no vision or nothing, that would make you think or have any sort of specialty knowledge or insight or anything. It's just 5 minutes already. I need to stop talking. I couldn't get through the article the first time, and now it's like, it's just these people don't get Star Trek, and they just keep going further and further away from Star Trek, trying to get the general audience. They never get the general audience, and they just alienate the fan base they already had, which was never good enough, apparently. They'd rather have, the general audience who doesn't buy merchandise and doesn't support anything, rather than have fans like me who, actually pay money for merchandise and buy 5 times as much stuff as, any other regular fan would. So it's just sad. It's just sad to see Star Trek being killed by these idiots, and I just don't know when it's finally going to turn around. It's just ongoing.